What's happening, people, and welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast. We're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs on the way. And we've reached episode 10, Michael.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're 10 weeks in a row, consistency. And yeah,
I'm here
10
for
episodes in, we're here.
I'm here for it.
Still delivering content. And I don't know if you've seen the Beckham doc. But there was one thing I wanted, because I know you're a big Florentino Perez fan.
Of course.
There's one bit in it after Real Madrid have signed. Florentino Perez goes, Beckham was born to play for Madrid. And then they go and sign him, and they do an interview with Luis Figo, who was at Madrid at the time, obviously playing on the right, and obviously the only place that Beckham ever played was on the right. They asked Luis Figo in the doc, what was your thoughts when they signed David Beckham? And Luis Figo goes, at that time, Beckham was not what the team needs. And the interviewer asks him, so why do you think Florentino Perez signed him? And Figo goes, you'll have to ask him. Yeah. And then the next scene just cuts to Florentino Perez. They ask him, and Perez just goes, we tripled our revenue.
And that's what it is, man.
that was as simple as it was.
He plays 4D chess.
Yeah. We could get Beckham, and as soon as they signed Beckham, revenue went up 3 times.
He plays 4D chess.
Yeah.
Madrid. Come on, boy.
But yeah, anyone interested in whether David Beckham or even just football in general, I'd definitely recommend the doc. There were similarities to obviously The Last Dance is the greatest sporting documentary ever, I think. But there were definitely similarities between the two.
Last Dance is so goated.
Yeah, it is. Last Dance is just.
It's so good.
I can watch that. So when people tell me they haven't seen it, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's it's a religious experience, actually, man.
Because one of my mates who hates basketball, like whenever we even like suggest putting basketball on or whatever, he's always like, no, let's not. There's something else. Is it? And he asked me, he was like, because he hadn't watched it for so long, he was like, do you have to like basketball to watch it? And I was like, no, not at all.
You just have to like winners.
It's just the way the story's told, the clips from when he was at college and all of that stuff. And he watched it and he loved it and thought it. So yeah, even if you don't like basketball, The Last Dance is.
I thought you was going to use this the Beckham story as a segue for Jude.
I was, but then you brought up The Last Dance.
Oh, is it?
You ruined my segue. I was going to go from speaking about Galacticos. There was a Classico, but that's calm.
I thought he was going to say, is there another player who you think is born to play for Madrid?
I was kind of teeing that up, but. We'll show The Last Dance to respect it deserves.
Yeah, 100%. We should probably do top 10 sports docs.
Yeah, we can do actually. But I think my cousin was telling me this and kind of explaining why. I think LeBron's one will be better. Than
of course. More cameras at the time, more footage.
Yeah, do you remember we watched that game when ESPN went to his high school?
yeah, come on.
Yeah, like the pressure on that guy. But yeah, like you say, we were talking about Beckham. We were talking about the Galacticos, and this weekend was El Clasico. And
Madrid.
Yeah. In the new camp, I'd literally just come out of the stadium and was on the concourse, and I saw the messages from you saying Bellingham scored a brace, 92nd minute winner. And my honest reaction was just, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen both goals?
Yeah. The first one.
It's so ridiculous. It's so I literally put in one of my group chats, I was like, is he like the best player in the world right now? You know, based off form, based off everything that's going on. I think, man, it's, as you say, these kind of guys who are like born to play for football institutions, who come to a club like Madrid. Not that he's taking Madrid to another level, but it's just how quickly he's settled in. Yeah. It's just how quickly he's good at things. Scoring match winners in the Classico on your, the first time out. It's not like everybody does that. Yeah. Even Gundogan got a goal in his first El Clasico, and it's like it means nothing now. This is a treble winner. Gundo
up in it.
Gundo 6. I just think, what Jude is up to in the Madrid team, and even what Ancelotti's cooking with that team. Like, I was watching the game trying to figure out the system. Yeah. There's like, you've got Camavinga in there, you've got Cruz, Tchouaméni, Modric, Valverde, Bellingham, and then Joselu's coming on. Carvajal is still a mainstay. It's like they play 3. I don't even know if it's 3 or 2 centre backs. It's like Alaba and Rudiger hold it down, and then Camavinga will invert, and Carvajal will push up.
I remember you telling me about the system they're playing when we had the conversation about Jude Bellingham before, and how Bellingham's kind of playing as like a 10, kind of almost as a second striker. But you spoke about Carlo and what Carlo was doing and how you had to give him praise. And I was trying to explain to my brother, because obviously I told him about the El Clasico, Bellingham scoring twice. because he was like, "Where's Bellingham playing?" And I was trying to explain to him like how Carlos got Camavinga,
Yeah, it's a
Modric,
crazy
Cruz.
diamond.
And I was like, they all just kind of move, and then my brother was trying to find out where's the width, who's playing on the wing, and I was like, they'll rotate. Fede might go out there, Cruz, and my brother was like, Cruz can't play out there.
Yeah,
and I was like, but he's literally there for a pass, and then they'll move again. But yeah, man, to score twice in El Clasico, first El Clasico in the new camp,
and then exactly.
To come from 92nd minute winner as well, like
it's like he's made for the big moments.
Yeah, fully. And to be doing that at his age, I just wonder what those other Real Madrid players who have won Champions League, league titles, guys like Vinny, Cruz, Modric, like I just wonder what they think of this guy when they see he's just come in his first season, he's 20 years old. What he's doing.
No, I completely agree with you. Do you think Cruz and Modric think like he's better than I was when I was 20? You know, or do they like?
I think Modric does.
Yeah, is that something they would admit? I don't think Cruz would admit it.
Yeah, Cruz.
Yeah. I don't know if Cruz will admit it.
Yeah, but
it is kind of incredible.
I think Modric would, and I think it's fair. Like, and that's not to say Bellingham's going to do what Modric has done.
Yeah.
It's just at that age, what Bellingham's doing is outrageous.
It's outrageous.
I don't even know if Modric was at Tottenham then.
No, I don't think he was at 20.
Yeah. So it's crazy to see.
Yeah. I mean, literally, we can sit here every week and just be like eulogize over him. It is literally that crazy. I mean, sometimes you feel like you've seen it all in football. Like I've seen big, Ronaldo. I've seen him go for 100 and perform straight away. But it still just kind of looks different. Every time you see it like this, you're like, well, this is actually pretty different. They thought they were going to box amongst midfielders. Like now they might have the best 10 in football.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and I saw something. Gareth Bale was on like a TV show the other day, and they asked him about, obviously Bellingham's gone to Real Madrid now. What's the one piece of advice you would give him? And Gareth Bale said the one piece of advice he would give Jude Bellingham is to play the game off the pitch, to play the Real Madrid game off the pitch.
Is it?
And he was like, do the press conferences, do the interviews, learn to speak Spanish, do all of that, like engage with the fans.
That's interesting.
Because he said he didn't do any of that. For him, he just wanted to play football and go home, and that was it. Play golf or do whatever. Right? And maybe that was to his detriment or his relationship with the fans and whatever. So he said that was the one piece of advice. He was like, he'll do whatever he needs to do on the football pitch. Like he's got the talent, he's got the quality. But he said play the politics game off the pitch was the one piece of advice, which I thought was quite interesting.
That is quite interesting. And I think, to be fair, why it could have been to Bale's detriment is because as soon as like Bale was injured a lot, as soon as you're not on the pitch and not playing the football that we know you can play, the fans can turn on you so quickly because you're like, you feel like a stranger or an outsider or this or that. Carvajal, for however many poor performances he puts in, he's Danny Carvajal. It's dapper. So.
But yeah, moving on to the weekend's fixtures. And the first fixture, Friday night, Palace v Tottenham. Tottenham winning 2-1. And I gotta say, man, like in years gone by, it would have been a tricky game. Friday night at Selhurst, Tottenham going there. Obviously, I mean, I don't even want to talk about what Palace are without Eze.
And Elise.
But no Eze, no quality. Elise as well, because Elise brings that. But not like without them, both of them, it's just so bad.
100.
But regardless,
Tottenham
still got to go there. In previous years, like I'm saying, that might have been a place they slipped up. Or no one wants to go to Selhurst on a night game.
I was going to say wet and rainy.
Exactly.
Down in Selhurst.
And they got it done, man. Own goal for the first one, and then a nice move, and Son finishes. And they're playing well.
No, they are, man. You can't bash Tottenham at this moment. They're getting the job done, which is actually all you can ask from them, man. Like everybody is waiting for them to slip up, draw, lose a game. We're all like dying at the bit for that moment, but they keep delaying it. And every week they delay it. You think, oh man, maybe they are building something. Like I'm seeing Van der Ven. Like,
Van der Ven. I think we should speak on his performance.
He's looking like a nice piece. Yeah.
I had him third on my list.
I had him up there on my list.
And you were saying that's way too high?
No, I had him. Well, look.
It's early days.
As you said, no Eze, no Elise.
That was a big performance.
It was a big performance, man. He's doing a job back there, man. His pace is crazy.
Yeah. Sweeping up.
Yeah. He makes really good tackles. He's like, his timing of his tackles is great.
I definitely think the way Tottenham play, yeah, not only that, because obviously they try and keep the ball, but it's coming where he's gonna get exposed and he's not gonna cope. But he's a young defender, first season in the league. I expect.
How old is he? Because he's like what 22, 20?
Yeah, something like that.
Is
yeah,
it?
he's pretty young. But there was one point, so I remember so vividly, where Palace actually had a nice bit of play on the counter, and it came to Will Hughes, who might be the slowest guy in
the world.
Any sort of half decent pace, and they're gone.
Any 10 meter
Ben won't catch them.
Yeah,
and that's going to happen the way Tottenham play. But as it's been so far, he's been solid, man. If that's Eric Dyer in there,
yeah, exactly. There's a mistake.
That's any Davinson Sanchez. Tottenham aren't defending as well as they did.
No, I think they just have a good record. Like, for whatever you want to say about Tottenham and the teams they've played or whatever they've done, when you look at where they are, obviously top of the table, but where they are in terms of goals for, goals against, all of those other kind of stats, that they deserve to be up and amongst it with everybody else. They're doing what needs to be done to stay at the
10
top.
10 games unbeaten.
Yeah, fair play to them. Fair play to Ange. Now, obviously, we're going to get onto Chelsea, but I think the Chelsea one next week is a real big.
The Pochettino derby. All of this 10 games unbeaten, Postecoglou's army. If they lose at home to Chelsea, I know how badly Tottenham fans want to win that game. Yeah, it's almost as badly as they want to beat us because of the Pochettino thing. Because he went to Chelsea, they didn't like it. Even the ones that were like, we didn't ask him to come back. The way Pochettino's spoken, some of the things he said.
I'm in the big club in London.
Yeah. I think he's turned a lot of Tottenham fans against him. So if he goes to their place and wins, that'd be a real kick in the teeth for
any manager that takes your club to a Champions League final and then goes to Chelsea, come on. There's always a knife, there's always a needle. And then obviously Chelsea are coming off this performance where they need something. They can't lose that game. Yeah. They can't lose that game. So
moving on to Chelsea, because I think that's a perfect segue to get started on them. They were the lunchtime kickoff, West London derby. And I thought in the first half Chelsea played pretty well. Cole Palmer had another good performance.
I did good 45. I thought that Poch made a mistake with the lineup.
What mistake?
I would have played Gusto, or I don't know how fit Reece James is, but the whole Disasi right back.
No, forget Reece James. I would have played Gusto.
Like the whole asking Disasi to like not be the width, but kind of be the width on that side.
I think Poch did it because he knows Brentford are good in the air, the long throws. I think he wanted to get a bit of extra height in there. But I agree with you. I think at home you just got to get Gusto in there, man. Like, you just had your best performance of the season against Arsenal. And obviously, I get that you might want to get a striker in there this time because maybe you're going to try and have more of the ball. But Jackson was shocking.
Yeah, he was.
Like, match of the day did this thing on him, just wasn't even making runs. But yeah, I think Gusto should have played because that would have. But in the first half, man, and it's where I have a bit of sympathy with Poch because I know they've lost. I know Chelsea fans are angry. They're all saying we can't lower our standards and say this is acceptable. But they've got chances to be 3-0 up in that first game. Madueke hits the bar. Sterling has a good chance. Cole Palmer puts Cucurella in.
Yeah,
they have chances in that first half to almost, I wouldn't say take the game away from Brentford, but
Brentford will put in the first half.
Score. Yeah, exactly. But as soon as Brentford went 1-0 up,
Chelsea were never coming back.
I knew the game was.
Chelsea were never coming back into that game.
I knew they messed up against Man United, and we said that was unlike them.
But
I knew if they go 1-0 up,
Ethan.
Yeah, and Wemo.
Yeah. But what I will say about Chelsea in the first half is, yes, they were the better team. Brentford were poor, Chelsea were good. But when it was 0-0 at half time, and I can't remember when that chance was, whether it was just before half time or just after half time, where like Sanchez makes a decent save where the ball was struck straight at him. I think it was Jensen. It was like the one other chance that Brentford had in the game other than the goals that they scored.
I think that was at the beginning of the second half.
It was the beginning of the second. So they came in 0-0 and I was thinking, Chelsea have played well, but they haven't scored. And like, I think Brentford are going to be more compact and tougher to beat in the second half just because they couldn't play that badly. And then that chance came and I was like, oh yeah, there is 1000% something in this game for Brentford. Just because they know, Thomas Frank knows, the team knows that we can't let those chances go. And Chelsea just seem to be like, we'll have 3 or 4 of those chances and just, what if finally we'll end up in the back of the net? Nah, you've got to take that chance now. Because the longer the game goes on, the more Brentford have confidence. And that's a stark difference, I think, between our fixture, and obviously we'll come on to us later as well. But it's like when you score early or you score in the first half, the pressure that you take off yourself and the pressure that you put on the other team as well.
Yeah.
When it starts creeping into the 60th minutes and the team haven't scored yet, they think, man, our game plan has worked. Like we're in the game. And
their confidence just grows.
Exactly. And I was just thinking, man, this is a derby game as well, West London derby game. Like, there needs to be a little bit more from Chelsea, like shots on target. Yeah, you're making a couple nice chances and cutting people open, but batter the goal. Let the keeper know that this is like, it's going to be a long day. And there just wasn't enough of that, I thought, from Chelsea. But I do think Cole Palmer stood out.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, I think last week, you could just tell he's from that Pep school, that Pep era. Some of his touches and takes and turns in the half spaces and stuff. He's just going to develop to be a better player. And shout out for him once again, like more minutes. You're just going to get better from that.
I think to bring it like full circle and kind of almost back to that Tottenham game that's on Monday night, the Poch derby. I think Tottenham are gonna do better in those big games. I know they've got that run coming up where everyone's like, oh, they got Man City, Newcastle at St. James's, Man United.
Yeah.
But the way Pochettino wants to play, the way Chelsea are playing, we saw it against us. They got a draw with Liverpool, played well against Liverpool when they played Liverpool. I think they might do better in those big games.
Mm-hmm. You think it's the deep blocks that will...
Yeah, because they just don't have the goal scorers to be able to take a chance when it comes to them. Whereas I think Poch will play in a very similar way when they play Tottenham to the way they played against us.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll play a striker. I think he'll play Gallagher and Cole Palmer. And I think they could get joy there. I think if they could catch Sterling with Caicedo and Enzo in midfield, and yeah, it could be an interesting game. But Brentford have now won at Stamford Bridge 3 years in a row.
Yeah, some of the stats on Chelsea are crazy. Some of the stats on just that whole fact that Brentford might have won more games at Stamford Bridge than Enzo, and all of this kind. Like Enzo's been here since January of last year. January of this year. Like how are Chelsea? One of my friends is like a Chelsea season ticket holder, and he was like, we were having a discussion on Friday about it, and he was like, "Yo, I've been to every Chelsea game in 2023, and we've won like twice at home." And like he said it with like, we were all having drinks talking about football and FPL and stuff, and I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "Damn, whoa." How can it
every game?
How can it seriously get that bad? How can it seriously get that bad to the point where, like, you know?
I remember what Stamford Bridge used to be.
Exactly. I mean, as much yes, of course, remember what Stamford Bridge used to be, but even like, you know, some of the worst teams in the Premier, or some like Crystal Palace don't have that bad a home record, you know, and it's like they every now and again they pick up a winner. Chelsea are not even picking up a winner at home every now and again. Like they're not even picking up. And it's the fact that they're losing a lot of these games. They're not even like draws. Like they just buckle, they crumble, they fold, and they concede.
The only team they've beat at home in the league this season is Luton. That's the only team they beat at home.
It's so crazy. It's actually so crazy to see Chelsea drop to this level. And like, I still can't fully tell you what the problem is because they spent a lot of money. They got a good manager. I think they've got decent players.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't have a striker, but that like, there's only so many goals a striker can actually bring to a team and to a club and to a system. So I still can't fully tell you why it's so, like, I understand why it's not amazing, but I can't tell you why it's so bad. Why it's so bad.
I think it's difficult to put your finger on that. But I wanted to ask you, and obviously we are going to have a big inquisition into Man United.
Yeah, of course.
Around for that. But I wanted to ask you because it has been going around. Would you rather be in Chelsea's position or as a fan or United's position? As a Chelsea fan or a United fan?
I'd probably say Chelsea fan.
Yeah,
because one, United just seems to be like mass hysteria and like media hysteria as well.
Yeah,
and like even when you win, you lose. I was saying that with the like, Onana has a big save midweek penalty, you know, and then you have the Garnacho situation immediately after that. So it's like even when you win, even there should be times to celebrate.
Yeah,
and one of my big reasons gripes against United is like your heroes are just unsustainable. Like your heroes are McTominay, Onana, Maguire, and these are the guys that you're desperately trying to get rid of. Apart from Onana, sorry, a lot of these guys that are coming up to be your heroes are guys that you're trying to get rid of or you've been dogging out for the last however many years, and now he's the hero. And what you're going to go into the season? It's like Chelsea, at least, yeah. Chelsea are not playing well, but they have a blank slate to create new heroes. Like Cole Palmer can be a hero. Conor Gallagher can turn his whatever around. And then obviously they have a ton of new signings. Colwell's stocks can only rise. Casado's stocks can only rise. Enzo's stocks can only rise. All of this kind of stuff where it's like, at least, is it, if he does rise, it's a hero you can champion.
Yeah.
Even if McTominay's, like how much, like
and Man United fans will. I don't think they'll ever get behind him. Like, I think they've seen too
or Maguire,
much, especially the way because he wasn't actually too bad on the weekend. But yeah, I agree with you. I think if I look at it, I would rather be in Chelsea's position because one, personally, I think they have a better manager.
Agreed.
And I think Pochettino will get it right. And I think they've got a collective group of young players there who
some nice pieces, diamonds in the rough.
Exactly, some nice pieces. Like we were saying, Gusto last week looked all right.
He
looks like a decent player. Obviously, if they can get Reece James fully fit and actually playing,
Chilwell's the same
big player again. Yeah, like he's talking about with Colwell, Caicedo, Enzo, Mudryk.
Yeah,
like it's a group of players who Cole Palmer. If they can grow together and they can actually, I'm not saying they'll do anything big, but I think they'll be in a better position. I mean, Man United looking at Amrabat, but we'll get onto that.
No, but what I will say about Chelsea, though, as much as we're like saying they're better than United, it is crazy the talk after the 2-2 draw with Arsenal to then go and lose to Brentford the next week. Like just after that Arsenal performance and results, everybody was like, it was poor from Chelsea to lose at the end, but green shoots. We're starting to see, we're starting to see where we can go. We can do this. We can do that. Things are starting to look up. There's a team here, 3 wins and a bounce and a draw versus, one of the best teams in the country. And then, Brentford are a good team, a good, decent outfit, but they've been up and down this season. And to just get turned over 2-0 at home to Brentford.
That second goal,
it's
What did you make of what Mopé did?
Yeah. He's a villain. He's a villain.
Do you remember Ty? Okay, you're a disgrace.
But it's good to see it when it's not your team. When Mopé's dogging on another
the way
team.
He kicks the ball with that free kick.
I mean, of course. He knows he's going to get a yellow. And then for him to come on and get the assist.
He didn't even get the assist,
Is it?
Match of the day looked at it, he almost fucks it up. Sanchez is the one who kicks it through Mopé's legs to Mbeumo. So I don't even think he got the assist for it.
So I think
that was comical, man.
Yeah, that's
Sanchez running back.
I still don't even I agree with Unai Emery when he said it that one time when we did it to Villa after the post match, and he was like, how many times does a keeper go up to score? How many times does he score? How many times does the other team how many times do we concede as a team? Like if it's the last kick of the game, it's 4 extra time, you're in the 95th minute, calm, whatever. But the loss feels so much worse when you can see the goal like that in the final minute and it's 2-0 and now Brentford can say easy away there. Like it looks pathetic as well.
You relieve all the pressure and it's just
seeing your goalkeeper trying to chase back a striker from the halfway line. It looks pathetic. And Ian Maatsen, I got the craziest.
It's pathetic from him.
I got the craziest. I saw Ian Maatsen on Friday night. Oh, sorry, I saw him on Saturday night, the day after the game.
I was going to say Friday night.
No, I saw him in Pagola.
You're outed him here. Saturday night.
I saw him on Saturday night in Pagola. I was out for like a Halloween celebration, and Ian Maatsen was there. Jermaine Defoe was there too.
Who was Maatsen with?
He was just with a couple of his friends, I guess.
Okay.
I was thinking, damn. But I get it. You're
that London life.
Hey, after that
performance,
from
Burnley.
Your friends told you, you just need to get out there, have a good time, man. Forget about today. You only, there's only one night. You only live for today. But yeah, I just want to say, but shout out to Brentford, man, and shout out to Jensen and Norgard always, because I feel like they're such instrumental guys. Yeah, I feel like they're such.
I thought you were going to shout out Pinnock.
Ethan needs to get his love as well. 15 points. How can I put that down? People don't know about Ethan Pinnock. Sturdy player, 90 minutes. Yeah. Week in, week out. Brentford, when it's time to be compact and lock it down, they can do it. Yep. But yeah, shout out to Jensen and Norgard, just because every time I see Brentford put out a decent result, they're like instrumental.
I think Norgard in particular. Jensen's a good player, but I think Norgard, I think he might be the captain of the team now.
He's instrumental.
Definitely a good player. Very good number 6.
Yeah.
A guy that like, he put him in the Man United team, and he would make things a lot better in that team
immediately,
because he's a ball playing number 6. He'll take the ball. link the play.
And he doesn't shy away from his defensive responsibilities.
Exactly, yeah. He can make the challenges, he can make the tackles. But yeah, man, I fully agree with you. Before I knew the war chest that Arsenal had, and I thought we were shopping for discounts, I wanted Norgard.
Norgard, yeah, we was there. I remember.
I think we were watching something, and I was like, "Yo, this is the guy we should sign."
Yeah, I remember.
But I didn't know there was 105 million waiting to spend on the best DM in the world.
I actually saw something on that, but I guess we can talk about it in the Arsenal. But
yeah, well, Arsenal's the next game.
So I just saw that when I was watching something on Twitter, and like it was Arsenal talking about back when he had the club, and it was the Usmanov Kroenke division. It was tough because he couldn't really spend the money because two people owned the club, and like if Kroenke put a lot of money into the club. Not in not so many words, he said like Usmanov will feel away because of price shares and all of this kind of stuff, and vice versa. If Usmanov put a ton of money into the club, just because there's a split leadership, and then as soon as Kroenke's take 100% ownership, all of a sudden we start spending hundreds of millions, and it's like I don't have any backlash. I don't answer to anybody else. I don't need to like double check with somebody if I'm going to spend 100, million. And I have 100% ownership now. I do what I want. Type of thing. So I thought that was an interesting piece.
Yeah, definitely.
At the time, just because I never once thought of it. I remember at the time we were asking for Usmanov to buy the club. We realized he was richer than Kroenke. We were like, Usmanov, buy him out. Blow him out the water.
Because we thought the Kroenkes were just being stingy. But like I spoke to when I was actually in Toronto, I spoke to one of my cousins out there. So obviously Kroenke owns a couple of other franchises. Obviously Denver Nuggets won the championship right in the summer, and I was talking to him about his ownership, and I think Kroenke did that on purpose, that not putting any money into the club. Similar to what you're saying with Wenger, I think he had 49%. This even after Usmanov had left, but there was like 51% that was kind of owned by like Arsenal fans and kind of members that were put on the board. And I genuinely think that Kroenke just thought, you know what, I am not going to put a dime into this club. I'm going to buy them all out, and then I'm just going to splash it all. Because I think he obviously wanted 100% ownership, right? So I think he thought if he doesn't do anything, protests rise, everything happens, they have to sell. As soon as, like you say, I think the first summer that he had full ownership, we spent 72 on Pepe. Like, it was, and since that point, you can't really complain about the Kroenkes and their money that they've spent. Like they've backed Arteta big time.
I think that those are just interesting like business perspectives that we would never see as a fan, as minutiae as it can get in terms of the world of sport. But like if you were a billionaire business owner, that's probably good business. Why the hell would I invest or spend hundreds of millions into some 51%, 49%, 39%,
and not reap all the rewards?
If we're gonna win a chip, I'm getting all that.
It's a scumbag way to do it.
100%.
That's why Stan Kroenke is who he is. That's why he's so successful. Exactly. But on the game, away from the board, Arsenal had 3 Hale End starters in the team. Hale End graduates, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Nketiah. And Eddie, man, we've spoken highly of him on this podcast. We've always kind of tried to defend him, and I think we've been pretty fair with him. And you know what? I don't think he started the game well, and I was kind of sat there. And even before the game, I was like, I saw some stat like Eddie has started 8 of the 10 Premier League games, and before the game, I was thinking like, what's going on to justify this? Because I don't think Eddie's been that good this season. But fair play, man. I had nothing to say. And when a player plays well, you got to praise it, and he did.
Yeah, no, I think Eddie was. Obviously, it's his day. Like this is, the most love he's probably got to receive in a while from fans and from the club and from everybody. But I don't know. I feel like Eddie is a very weird player because I hear the frustrations with Eddie, and I hear the frustrations in the performances as well. But I feel as if, I don't know, like I see it sometimes as well, but I feel like Eddie always tries hard. I feel like he always, tries to put a shift in. Some games are just, so like there's an Eddie performance that can really like grind your gears, but because he's a Hale End graduate, I always give him a little bit more grace. But I also do feel because he's a Hale End graduate, he gives a lot more back in terms of his work, or in terms of his effort, in terms of trying to develop his game. Arteta clearly trusts him a lot. Like I think there is a job that Eddie does that is also beyond just the goal scoring for Arteta, at least in Arteta's mind, because that's the only reason. That can be the only explanation as to why he starts so much.
I think you said a couple of weeks ago that you thought in training Gabriel Jesus is just, I think in
Eddie
training
cleans them up.
Eddie's just I think in training, I reckon he's just like
Shove it.
burying chances that Gabriel Jesus won't even get on target.
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
reckon Eddie is such a gunslinger.
I
in
can
training,
see
can
that.
put smashing that third goal. I reckon he's doing that in training.
But that's so crazy what confidence
Maybe
can
not
do to a
from, but the
player.
way he's striking the ball.
It's not his first time in it, you could tell.
Yeah, and like the one thing that Eddie, I know he had a period last year where he went without goals, but the one thing that Eddie has shown on the most part for his career is that he scores goals. Like England under 21 record goal scorer. He scored goals whenever his minutes to goal. They showed it on Match of the Day. He's actually pretty good at Arsenal.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised about that at all. I think if he starts, he typically gets involved in the scoring. I think everybody's kind of said it already. Like I do think Eddie is kind of mischaracterized, and like we can't look at him to be this crazy, like crazy guy.
Yeah.
He's a Haaland graduate that hasn't cost us a single thing.
Yeah.
And if he was trying to buy him in the market, we'd probably have to spend a lot of 30 million on him maybe.
Yeah.
And then the pressure of
more than that,
so
like to have a striker like Eddie.
Scamacca didn't do Eddie numbers.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like most other, Tim Sherwood said he's an upgrade on Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah.
But most Premier League clubs, I think, would take him.
Yeah.
Like West Ham would have him. Chelsea would have him. I think those are of the top clubs. Man United would probably have him in there.
I do think he suffers a little bit from the insatiable desire for fans to just have a new shiny toy and like to always want more and like 1% better. Like for what he's done, as we've said, we keep speaking about but to be a Haaland graduate to score a hat-trick for Arsenal Football Club in a Premier League game is nuts. To go all the way through the academy, the twists and turns that he must have gone through, the amount of times his agent came to him and probably said there's an offer on the table.
He was almost going to leave, innit? And then Arteta kept him on. Gave him a fairly big contract, $100,000 a week. But I remember at the time they asked Arteta about it, and Arteta said
he's worth it.
If we were going to let Eddie go, we'd have to buy a replacement. How much is that replacement going to cost us to get a player of Eddie's quality?
Exactly.
Like you said, 30 million. Bro, goal scorers in the Premier League, and honestly, if Eddie went to any other club, he'd probably start 35 out of 38 games if he was fit. He'd score at least 15 goals, I reckon.
Yeah.
Right, which is you pay 50 million for that.
Yeah. So I think he does suffer a little bit from that. How wholesome his story is actually, and how like he isn't coming in from a big money transfer. But shout out to Eddie, the goals were very well taken. Yeah. The goals were very, very well taken. And as I was saying in the Chelsea game, when Eddie put it in the first half, I huge sigh of relief of okay.
We have the first touch as well.
Great first touch. Shout out to Declan Rice, goals and assists. He's here. Yeah. But like for real, Eddie puts it home, and it's like I had a massive sigh of relief of like, all right, now that the first one's gone in, and Sheffield have something to come out for, they should all start flying in.
Yeah.
And I hate it. As you said just before we started recording, of like, you want these easy every once in a while, or pretty much every game week. You want a 5-0. But you want like an easy, like,
I don't want to be mad stressed watching that.
10 minutes to go. There's one goal in it. Somebody goes down in the box. Is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? Did Gabriel gets hand on it? Like you don't want any of those questions. And when that first goal went in, I kind of thought Sheffield don't have the quality to put us in that kind of position. Unless we throw the game away, Sheffield don't have the quality to put us in that position.
Yep.
And we didn't even let them gain any confidence, which is always a fun weekend. Because now we can laugh at Brentford. Sorry, we can laugh at Chelsea.
Exactly. And I was actually having a conversation with my brother about whether or not Mbappe could score that third goal that Nketiah scored. I was saying I don't think I've ever seen Mbappe do that, but that's a different conversation.
They say two legends can't coexist.
Exactly. But also on the Arsenal side, another Haaland boy, Emil Smith-Rowe, got his first start back in the team, and I thought he played well. Like he didn't really do anything too spectacular. Obviously he'll shamelessly pick up the assist for Eddie's third goal.
You have to be there.
But I've missed watching Smith-Rowe play, man.
He does bring something different.
There's things that like it's his football intelligence, and like almost similar to Havertz in the sense of like he'll make a run or he'll make a third man run that like even if he doesn't get the ball, it's created the perfect space for someone else, which I think is underestimated, and a lot of time you might not see that. But I think there's definitely a space for him in this team. I think.
No, look, yeah, 100%. He provides us something different, even though we have a lot of like tens in the team with Vieira, Havertz, Odegaard, whatever. I still feel like he provides something different to all 3-4 of those guys.
Yeah.
Just in terms of when he has the ball at his feet and he's like driving in that like half space, he gets on the turn and he gets like, he's incredible.
Yeah, it's
like
brilliant.
He's so tough to take down. Yeah. Like he almost can do what he wants in terms of getting a shot off, getting a pass off.
Yep.
I agree. Obviously, I thought the game was good. Just a good game. It was all right. Nothing special.
He was winning his duels as well. He was pressing. He's working hard.
He should take confidence from the assist as well, because that's what minutes gives you. But I think all he needs, honestly, is minutes. I'd play him again versus West Ham.
Yeah.
You know,
him again for sure.
I'd play him again versus West Ham and just let him grow in confidence and feel like. I think his biggest worry now is that he probably doesn't really feel a part of the squad and the units in terms of like minutes and getting on the pitch and providing goals and assists. And I just feel like these couple games versus West Ham,
I think he'll build that.
He'll build that, and he'll know that Arteta will call on me. There'll be times where Arteta's going to call on me, and I, have to provide. And I feel like it's easier to stay ready when you genuinely believe that your manager needs you.
Yeah. On like kind of what he brings that's different to Vieira, Havertz, Odegaard. There were 3 or 4 times where he made a great run. He was in the box. He was free. He was the spare man, and I think there was one time maybe Saka could have found him or Eddie could have played a reverse pass and he's in. And we know from that season that he did have that off both feet, the guy can score goals, right? He got 10 in the Premier League season.
Yeah.
And I think of like those natural goal scoring number 10s. We know the numbers Odegaard put up last year, but I think naturally to get into those positions, I think Emil Smith-Rowe can bring that.
Yeah.
I think bring some goals to this team.
I think after Odegaard, he probably is our most natural goal scorer in 10. And also another player I think we should shout out is Kivio. I was going to say, I thought we had this conversation. Maybe it wasn't on the podcast, but like when he came on at Sevilla, we were saying like, damn, Kivio was a weird signing. Like he barely even gets like bum fluff minutes at the end of matches, and those are the only minutes he typically seems to get. So I was kind of shocked to see him start, but I was also pleasantly surprised to see his performance. And I think that's another one of those, like, he needs to feel involved in the squad. He needs to know that I see his qualities and I can call on him in certain moments. And he was good, man.
I think he was very good. Man.
Yeah.
I think he was flawless. Again, like, we'll do a tiny bit on Shef U. They didn't really pose him any sort of problems. Yeah. Like, they didn't even have like a Burnley up top. It was Brewster. So it was
cost 30 mil, by the way.
What, for Shef U?
Yeah, he was like 25 mil from Liverpool, and that's unproven. So
we'll get into them. But he was flawless. Obviously, like I said, we didn't have much to do, but he was flawless. And I think Arteta really likes him, and I can see maybe in like a year's time or so, Kirill playing a lot more regularly, because in possession, the guy has definitely got it. Yeah. Like, lefty, like
the angles, they're open.
I could see within the first 10 minutes why Arteta put him in this game, because, and I'm one of Gabriel's biggest fans. I'm not saying Kirill's better than him, but the way Kirill was wrapping passes to Zinchenko, like, it's just a tempo raiser. When he plays a pass, that instantly it tells Zinchenko, Martinelli, whoever it is, get on the ball, turn and go. Like, let's raise it.
No, I agree with it. I think just to add to that point and then to go on from it. I agree. I think it's a game where, because there's no McBurney, you don't need somebody as physical. Even if McBurney was probably there, it's not a game where Kivio should really be out muscled by anybody.
Having to fight bare aerial duels.
The reason we play Gabriel is because he can do the physical duel and he can wrap the ball in if he needs to.
Yeah.
And Kivio is a game where Kivio, just wrap the ball in. You're barely going to be tested on the other side.
And one other person I want to shout out, Tomiyasu got his first goal. His first Arsenal goal. We spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. We were like, can't wait for it. It was a scrappy one. It was from a corner.
We'll take him.
Last couple of minutes. But yeah, happy for him. And obviously you could see what that goal meant to him. And it was nice to see like Nketiah and everyone kind of shoving him over to the fans. I know it was 5-0. But that's his first goal. He scored in front of the Emirates. Like,
massive shout out.
Go and celebrate that.
No, massive shout out to Tomiyasu. I think he's like, one of the most beloved players. Arteta said obviously inside the group, but I think even by fans, like,
on that though, he is one of the most beloved. But when the penalty was awarded,
you guys wanted Tomiyasu to take it.
No, I wasn't getting that far. But when the penalty got awarded, the stadium started singing Kai Havertz's song.
Yeah, they wanted it.
60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scored again. They all wanted him to take it, and then obviously Vieira steps up.
He's got kids.
But I think the fans are starting to like. I think Mikel Arteta has obviously done a lot there by saying to the fans, kind of get on side. And I think Kai Havertz, there was one slide tackle Kai Havertz made, which the fans loved
in the first half. I remember that. Yeah.
Which is like, and again, people will be like, "Oh, you're cheering on 65 million for a slide tackle," whatever. But like you said, Matt, I think, and you got it spot on. Like you can't. At the end of the season, you can't look at Kai Havertz and say he did X, Y, Z in terms of numbers.
It depends on the game.
And judge his season on that. You're just not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But on Shef U, they are shit, man. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. They are one of the worst teams I've seen come to the Emirates in a while. Offered nothing. Defensively weren't even that solid.
Yeah.
When you see a team come and put up a low block. I was walking past Arsenal tube station on the way home. There were a couple of Shef U fans, and I overheard their conversation. And one of them was just like, "Let's get back to the championship." he goes, "This is shit." He was like, "We drove 4 or 5 hours down to London to watch our team get smacked by 5. They didn't even have a shot on target, right? XG was 0.02. He's just like, yeah, let's just get back to the championship."
You know, the
worst ever start to a Premier League season they've had.
Yeah, 1 point on the board.
10 games.
It's kind of pathetic.
Not even murmurs the manager's going to get sacked. Not even rumours.
Do you know what's crazy? Because after 10 games you played, it's not like you've just played the top 10 teams in the country. After 10 games you played people in and around yourself, and then obviously the top teams. And I've noticed that they stopped playing that left back, who is diabolical. They finally made that adjustment, but it's not stopped the damage. The leaking still goes on. I think there is nothing to say about Shef U that guys don't already know, like, is screaming at you. You know, when you sell, I think we'll say this every week, when you sell like your 2 best midfielders to rival teams, calm. Yeah, I'll go straight back down. Like, I'm not meant to be
you
here.
Don't recruit. Get any better. We're moving on from Arsenal to Bournemouth versus Burnley.
Yeah,
called it a 9-pointer last week.
So I think it saved his job.
Yeah, it definitely saved his job.
I think it saved his job because when they were 1-0 down, I thought, oh my gosh, he's not gonna make it to halftime. Yeah. I was literally saying, like,
I saw in the chat.
I was expecting a halftime announcement.
But yeah, Bournemouth's first win. And they were quite clearly the better team from what I saw. They had more chances. Billing made up for his mistake last week.
See that
cracking goal. But on both the goals, and we said this last week about Burnley, Semenyo wins the ball, goal. Billing wins the ball, goal. It's that simple. There's no passes. There's nothing else. Semenyo's robbed Charlie Taylor in midfield. He scores. Billing wins the ball, goal. There's no other part. There's nothing else going on.
Yeah, Burnley are wide open.
It's just win the ball and goal.
Burnley are wide open. At what? Yeah, we every week we ask. At what point do we compromise? At what point does he compromise? When you lose a 9-pointer?
I don't think Vincent Kompany's going to compromise.
When you lose a 9-pointer, you have to compromise. With that is that simple. When your relegation rivals who haven't won a game all season come up top trumps after you took the lead,
I just don't think. I think he's from that Pep school and that stubbornness. This is how we play. This is what we're going to do.
Maybe he's
and I mentioned this a couple episodes ago. I don't even know if Burnley have the facilities to be like
to go.
Who's their big man? Amdouni, Lau Foster. Like they don't have the facilities to just say, yeah, let's change it all up. And
there's no excuse. You like there has to be a plan B.
He has to. Yeah, he's got to do something different.
There's no way. I was gonna say
you can't just keep losing games.
Real Company. There's no way Company has come into the Premier League and thought, yeah, this tiki-taka is do or die, and if it doesn't work, I'm dead. Or there's no plan B, or there's no iteration of this plan. Like, that is the most thoughtless management job that you've done. And I heard from Rio that Company is a serial worker. Not from Rio, from Jolyon Lesko, actually, on Filthy, that, like, Company, if he has if it's spare 15, 20 minutes, he'd rather do tactics in the back seat. Type of guy. Yeah. And now it's like...
I heard some story, it might have been from Gary Neville or whatever, that he has a driver so that he can spend more time working on the games and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So a guy who's meant to be this meticulous, who clearly would have known that playing tiki-taka football at the bottom of the table is going to be tough. How could he not have a plan B? How could he not have a different style? Maybe you're right. Maybe he was demanding, I need a big man striker for when stuff goes wrong, and Burnley wasn't able to get that for him. but they also let Weghorst go and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like
they've got Xander Berger, and they could say, knock it long to him and play off him. But I just don't think Vincent Kompany's gonna feel like, oh yeah, I can teach these guys a whole new way of playing.
But long balls, as much as it doesn't need as much coaching as positional play.
But I think whilst Vincent Kompany's coaching that, it's going to be eating him alive. I was Pep's captain for 5 years, and this is how I'm coaching my team to play.
No, I mean it's a huge admission of defeat.
Yeah,
but you have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, what do I want to do? Stay in the league, or go out literally on my shield, on my sword. Maybe he thinks I'll get another job, I'll get better players next time. It'll just work. But I think there is something to be said about versatility in managers.
Yeah,
and a manager that can be like, look, I want to play this style of football, but I have these players, and this is the competition.
Yeah,
and this is the style of football that gets results. Because even for Kompany, I know as a young manager, he's figuring a lot of stuff out, but that like blanket, this tiki-taka stuff is all, or this possession-based stuff is going to work regardless of who I have and bro.
Be versatile, and that's a perfect segue onto the most exciting game of the weekend. I thought Wolves Newcastle, and Gary O'Neill adapting what he wants to do, adapting like from his ideal style of play to go up against each team. And Wolves were very good in that game man. And shout out Gary O'Neill again.
He's doing it, man. Wolves are well set up. I was like, when they do Wolves' team, like, especially when they get to the front three and you see Chan, obviously Neto's just done his hamstring, but Chan, Neto, and Cunha. I'm like, these guys can cause anybody problems. And that Boyo guy in midfield that they have, who plays decent balls through the lines. Lamina, who's just an all-round generalist. Semedo was able to double up with Neto on the wings. Like, Wolves have a decent, they're well managed, they're well coached, that's for sure. And then they've got decent players up top who can cause you a threat. So I think Gary O'Neill deserves a lot of love, because Wolves are not even near the relegation. Like, they have 12 points on the board.
Most people tip them to go down.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, their manager left like a day before the season began. And Sheffield have 1 point on the board, and Wolves have 12.
Lopetegui threw a tantrum and said, "You're not getting me any players. I'm going to leave." And Gary O'Neill's come in and just done a job with the players.
But that is also management. Gary O'Neill, you have to assess who do I have, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what kind of system can I play with the guys that I have. And he kind of said that last week on Sky, when he was like, "Look, I want to start every game playing this style of football, and then I have to like take stock of what I have around me." So shout out to him, because Chan's definitely gotten better as a player.
Yeah,
he's scoring goals.
Cunha as well.
Cunha's balling.
Like Cunha might not be a bagsman, but there's definitely a very good player there.
And he lost Matthias Nunes.
Yep.
3 weeks into the season or 2 weeks into the season. So it's like whatever he was building with him and that team is gone.
Yeah.
And Newcastle, to be fair to Newcastle, I think they're starting to feel the whole Wednesday.
There was definitely Champions League.
Yeah. They're starting to feel the Wednesday, Saturday thing. But at the same time, it's not looking like
not a bad point. It's not
looking like Molineu's an easy place.
No, not at all.
To go to.
Man City lost there.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got a lot of respect for Gary O'Neill. For he puts out a decent outfit every week, and it's going to take some quality to beat them. Yep. And they also have the quality to make it a different or an interesting game. And I thought, to be honest, the penalty was soft. Yeah, like, real time, I thought the penalty was soft as hell.
And it was unfortunate to see Neto's injury, because he was cooking.
And he was about to bury that. 10 points. I saw that, man.
Yeah. my FPL, man. He already picked up the assist.
Yeah.
He was lining it up. And it was unfortunate. Obviously, I don't know how long he might be out for now, but that was a very good performance from Wolves. And on the Newcastle point of view, get away with the point. Not a bad point after a Champions League game midweek, and just keep it moving.
Yeah, they'll take positives from Wilson scoring. I thought Anthony Gordon had a good game as well. He's becoming a bit of a threat. He's raising up my rankings, my estimations in terms of left wingers. But there is, I thought Newcastle, if they have a week's break, obviously they play United Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I think they were just literally suffering from the hangover of the loss.
Especially second half, you could
tell.
But moving on to the next game, Sunday's game, first game, West Ham versus Everton. Everton went to the London Stadium. and just in classic true Sean Dyche fashion,
Grinded it
1-0
Yeah.
away from home. And West Ham were poor. They couldn't break Everton down.
Yeah.
But on the Everton side, man, those 11 players on that pitch worked their fucking socks off, man. They were like, whenever the ball was like being passed around and West Ham were trying to create something, there were just 4 or 5 Everton players swarming. Harrison and McNeil were doing their jobs coming back. Like, it was a proper shift from those players. They weren't giving West Ham time and space on the ball. They were making it difficult. And what a goal, man.
Yeah.
What a goal. The turn, the finish.
Yeah.
Shout out Calvert-Lewin.
Shout out Calvert-Lewin. Shout out Harrison. He's added as well.
Harrison and McNeil both like
they've definitely added a different dynamic that we just did not see from Everton the first couple match weeks into the season. I thought they all played very well. Like, Doucouré was my man of the match for Everton. Like, he was just everywhere. He was literally just everywhere. Should have scored. It was a good save, to be fair.
Yeah.
And he does all the, like, defensively, offensively. He's trying to link play. He's breaking up play. He's making clearances and blocks at the edge of his box. It's crazy to see. Yeah, but you're right. I think the biggest takeaway was just how hard Everton worked for that win, and also how, like, in the Premier League, you have to smell when a team is going through a rough patch.
When they're off it.
Yeah. You have to smell it, and you have to think, man, there's points here for us. And like, you have to press that red button and activate. And that's literally what Sean Dyche did. As soon as he saw, a couple draws, a loss, a lot, Sean Dyche was telling the guys, yo.
Even in the first 15, 20 minutes, I think Everton might have had 2 or 3 breaks.
Yeah.
West Ham were playing some sloppy passes. And they capitalized on it. And I think they'll take a lot of pride in that performance. One away from home, clean sheet.
Yeah.
Picking up points away from home in the Premier League is tough for anyone.
Yeah.
And good result for Everton.
Yeah, it's going to mean a lot for them. And as well, it keeps them away just a little bit from the whole, like, the bottom 3 that are just going to get pelted every time they play.
Honestly, and it's a massive if, but if they can keep DCL fit, that
they can push.
It's going to be a decent side. It's going to be a decent team.
No, they've definitely got some nice pieces, man. They've definitely got some nice pieces. I think Onana, Doucouré, and Ghana as a midfield.
Balance looks good in there now. Yeah,
as a midfield 3 is, like, especially down that side of the table, it's a very good mid 3.
Yeah.
And Tarkowski at the back, solid.
Yeah. And if they replicate that performance at Goodison Park regularly on that small tight pitch, they'll get results.
They just need to keep Michael Keane as far away from that pitch as possible.
Jared Bramthwaite's done all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, back-to-back losses for West Ham.
They're in a bit of a rough patch. That's why I'm kind of nervous about the game on Wednesday, because I feel like Moyes is going to want to put a stop to this and make a statement like, hey, we're not going to
They got Conference League as well, man. He's got to rest some players. He's got to.
But I'm not too worried about West Ham. I think it is just a dip in form. And maybe a bit the same thing with Newcastle, a bit of the, like...
They just got to try and come out of it as quickly as possible.
We're playing every 3 days type of thing.
But yeah, moving on to the next game, Aston Villa versus Luton. Villa winning 3-1.
Yeah.
And John McGinn, man, he goal scoring arc, scored in midweek in the Conference League, scored again. I think he's got a couple goals for the season now.
Even Bailey.
Bailey coming off the bench, always making an impact, creating goals. Diaby goal and assist. And Villa are 4 points off the top, man. They're just quietly going about their business.
Douglas Luiz again, another assist.
Yep. And they're there, 4 points off the top.
I feel like for Villa, they're obviously they're in a very good run, but it's like, you can tell it's a good run because every week there's like a different guy to praise, a different hero. Like, it was Watkins last week, we can do McGinn, we can do Diaby this week, we can do even Bailey, a couple good goals and assists in his last couple of games. Una is just like, he's doing what they need to do for them. Una is definitely like, bro, we don't need to be even Tottenham. We don't need to be at the top of the table, or like, we just need to keep on doing what we're doing. And when it comes to match week 27, 28, 29, we'll realize how far away or how much of a mix we're in. And hopefully we can shake off the Brightons and all these other teams that they're clumping us together with. And it's like, if we just stay on course.
I think they're the best of the rest.
Yeah, I agree. For the way it's looking right now, and they're going to be tough to beat at home, for sure. I think Una's just saying, like, don't put too much pressure on yourselves. Go out there and play football. And trust me, we will end up in that sort of top 6, top 5 spot. with 10 games to go.
Yep.
Then we'll have a discussion about where should we finish this season.
And the confidence and momentum in that group of players going into the training ground and everything, it's just building every week, and it can only get better for them. So yeah, difficult one for Luton. Obviously, Villa Park's just they're on form, tough place to go.
Exactly,
is what it is. Next game, Brighton, Fulham. A game ended 1-1. It was a good finish from Evan Ferguson for the Brighton goal.
Pascal Gross finding between the lines.
Yeah, and then they got caught playing out Fulham with a good press and Paulinho with a great finish.
Yeah, a great finish. Paulinho is also a bit of a villain. You see, he elbowed the guy. Maybe he should have been sent off. I feel like anytime
that's Paulinho's game.
Exactly. Yeah. Anytime he scores a winner, he probably should have been sent off in that game.
Yeah.
And then he just gives it the big one to the crowd. You kind of gotta love it as well.
But yeah, both teams had some chances. Brighton probably had the better chances. But yeah, after a good win in Europe for Brighton, they beat Ajax 2-0 in the Europa League. Obviously, probably disappointed to draw that 1-1, but not too much to say on it. And then to Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Liverpool winning 3-0, running riot, light work for them at Anfield.
They're also cooking.
Darwin Núñez finding form.
Yeah, just at the right time.
Goal and assist. And so Bosley again, just
bossing it, huh?
He's just knitting things together, man. He is the glue in that team, man. He's taking the ball from deep. He's linking the play. He's making like underlaps, overlaps, finding runs, great passes.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, he's a proper midfield player.
Yeah. No, I think Liverpool. I think what's crazy about them is literally every game now seems to just be like 3 or 4-0. Or 3 or 4-1 or whatever the scoreline is going to be. Like we did say this beginning of the season, but they're just going to keep on scoring goals, and that will keep them up there. It's like to beat Liverpool, it almost seems like you're going to have to score 3.
Yeah.
Score 2 and like really lock it down and hold them out. And like, because Salah's going to get his.
Yeah.
Núñez, exactly. Or Diaz will pop up. Or
Diaz
Jota.
Didn't even play, yeah.
Jota was a good goal.
Yeah.
And Jota can do that to teams and do that to people.
Gakpo came on and scored. It was actually offside. But yeah. I wanted to ask you, man, like the Anfield factor, yeah. Every team plays 19 home games in the league season, yeah. To kind of know, Liverpool lost 1 home game in the league last season. Yeah. That was to Leeds of all teams, who actually went down. But fireworks. But yeah, so how to know that like of those 19 games, you're probably gonna win 16. Yeah. Or, I was gonna say 16. You're saying 18.
Okay, not
maybe
lose
draw twice.
Yeah.
And you probably won't lose a game at home, right? And that's already, I think I did the maths a bit earlier. That's already about 50 points on the board.
Yeah, that's a crazy standard to set.
Like, and just that Anfield factor, I think, is such a massive part in why Liverpool are going to be in this title race.
Yeah, but that's a big credit to the fans. Though I guess they really, as when the players are coming out and stuff, they always let them know how important it means to them that we get 3 points on the weekend. And so as a player, maybe even if you're just like, oh, it's only Nottingham Forest, it was only this and that. I think when you're walking out and they're singing, "You Never Walk Alone," chills. And then you also have I think that comes from the top as well in terms of Klopp wants it.
Yeah,
he's not letting up, and then Salah wants it as well.
Yeah.
And that's like your captain and your manager.
Yeah,
like they set the standard. Like Salah wants the goals and the assists. Klopp wants the 3 points.
Yeah,
and it's like everybody else has to fall in line.
Yeah,
because there is that synergy.
And I think that's where I respect this so much. Like whenever you have a player as good as Mohamed Salah, world class, best winger in the right winger at least in the world, and you see how hard Mo Salah works out of possession on the press, trying to win the ball back whenever he turns it over, sprinting back. Like when you see your star man with that quality working that hard, everyone else in the team has no choice but to do the same.
Because that's what it takes, man. That is honestly what it takes.
And you see Bukayo Saka and Martinelli do that. The two like focal points and goal scorers of this Arsenal team work as hard as anybody else.
Yeah.
And one person who doesn't do that, or at least isn't doing that at the moment, is Marcus Rashford, and we will get onto him. Meant to be the star player in his work rate. But yeah, man, I think
there is a lot to respect about Liverpool for sure. And that is why they'll always be there or thereabouts or in and around the conversation for top 4 title talks. If you can actually bank on winning games at home and and getting the job done at home, then literally half of the work is done. Quite literally 100%. Quite literally half of the work is done. And so testament to their mentality. And I feel like they're only buying players who also buying into this sort of mentality.
Yeah.
Which is just
Gravenberch played again.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to check. You were the one that told me Van Dijk's finished, yeah?
He is done. Don't worry. Nottingham Forest. This is
Van
what we're doing.
Van Dijk's washed.
It wasn't even a 1 year. It wasn't even a 1 year.
Okay. Just checking.
Hey,
Van Dijk's still washed though, yeah? Okay.
He's done. No,
finished.
He's not finished. He's like, this is.
You definitely said he was washed.
This is the cow that we're just about to take to pasture.
Okay.
Still grazing. Looks good. He was the prize cow. He was the bull.
Because he's been on point.
He was the bull of the
He's
pride.
been on point.
He's got a red card already. Cost a point.
And again, they won.
Nah, hey, bailed out by Darwizzy.
But yeah,
I'm on VVD watch. Don't worry.
Still,
hey,
I'm on VVD watch, man.
Don't worry.
Impressive.
Don't worry. We'll
Looks
see.
like he's getting back to his best.
Who do Liverpool have next week? Easy.
Luton.
Oh, God.
And then they've got Brentford, and then after the international break, they got Man City.
That's the test. That's the test.
It will be a test. It will be a test. But last year when they played them at Anfield, Van Dijk locked Haaland up. So yeah, I think. Do you see Salah's goal?
No, I actually haven't seen Salah's goal yet.
Matt Turner's getting dropped, man.
Is it?
Sabozlai plays this like half decent pass. It's just in the right area, but there's the Nottingham Forest defender coming back this way, and Matt Turner for some reason is like almost on the halfway line, and there's no need to be there. And the defender stops because he thinks Matt Turner's going to go for it. Matt Turner misjudges it, can't use his hands because he's out of his area, just goes past him, and Salah just puts it in the empty net.
I think Matt Turner suffers a bit from identity crisis because he's a traditional keeper.
Yeah,
in a world full of
ball play,
you have to sweep, or you have to ball play, or you have to and he's just like, I'm a shot stopper. I take huge, long, deep goal kicks.
Yeah. That's it. That's his game. But yeah, I think he might get dropped soon. But another 3 points for Liverpool. They just keep ticking over, keep winning. But moving on, because we're gonna need to have a healthy discussion on what is going on at Old Trafford, what is going on at Manchester United, the Manchester derby. And I don't even feel right saying derby, because when I say derby, you think of two teams wanting to win, going at each other. Yeah. That wasn't the case yesterday. An absolutely pathetic performance from Man United.
Yeah.
There's no other way to describe it. It is just pathetic. And if I saw Arsenal play like that, at the Emirates, because I've seen Arsenal put in shocking performances at White Hart Lane, and just get rolled over. But if I saw Arsenal play like that at the Emirates, I would be furious. Those Man United fans sat in the stadium at Old Trafford. I want to say I feel for you, but you lot talk too much shit for me to feel for you. But on a pure fan level, they don't deserve to see their team play like that in a derby.
I think, I agree with you that derby is such a weird term, especially for this game, because I agree that it is a big game and a big derby in X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, historically, Man United used to just smack Man City around for a little bit.
Yeah, but even at and
then now it feels
Main
like
Road, and when they used to play at Man City Stadium. There have been times where Sean Goater scored a winner, or Sean Wright Phillips twisted up Evra, or they had moments, right? At Old Trafford, they would more often than not get slapped.
Get smacked up. I know what you mean.
You're at home, man.
Yeah, I think
you can go to the Etihad and get slapped.
100%, I agree with everything that people are saying in terms of there's a way to lose games, for sure.
And especially at derby games.
Especially, there's a way to lose games, and but I think the manager set them up. I honestly think the manager set them up. I agree that the players were poor, but I think all of the players on the pitch are wondering why we're playing together. Why is Maguire and Evans starting?
Okay, so let's get into this. So we'll start with Erik Ten Hag then. So your thoughts on when you saw the lineup? I'm pretty sure Varane started midweek against Copenhagen.
I think he did.
So it's not a case of him not being fit, and obviously we know Erik Ten Hag specifically
he said
came
tactically,
out and said They asked him very specifically, Evans and Lindelof at left back, Varane and Reguilon on the bench. Why is that? And Ten Hag said, it's tactical.
Yeah. Because
right? Those are Ten Hag's words.
He's trying to play, that can only mean he's trying to play a deep block and like protect the 6-yard box. Yeah. Haaland doesn't get a sniff, you know. But
and what did you think? How do you think his tactics work?
It's so tough to analyze. Well, it's not tough to analyze. It's tough to see how he thought some of this stuff would work. And you think like, you know what? I'm just a fan, and this is like a, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know if there's a managed degree, but he's got all the qualifications. He's got all his badges. Maybe there's something he saw that we didn't see. Yeah. But when I see Maguire and Evans start in a Manchester derby of this magnitude with a game of this much quality on the other side of the pitch, when you have people like Varane on bench, and all of this kind of stuff, even a 60% Varane is worth it.
Lindelof at left back over Reguilon. He's actually been all right at Man United.
And you specifically brought Reguilon in, like transfer deadline day, we need a body, or both my left backs are injured, it's for my system. And now, you're playing Lindelof out there. You know what I'm saying?
It was awful. Did not look comfortable at all.
I think, but my bigger point is that when he put out that lineup, there was already a sunken feeling amongst the fans, amongst the players. Even as you're lining up and you're all taking your before kickoff, literally just before kickoff, and you're all like in your positions, you're probably looking around like. I can't believe
like not only that, you're looking on the other side of the
that's
thing.
What I'm saying.
and the guys they've got
when you've been doing first team training since the beginning of the season, Maguire and Evans have never held first team bibs in the terms of like A team. You know, you always train in the A team. It was always Varane and Martinez in the same. You know, it's like Maguire and Evans have never held first team bibs, and then the biggest game versus the best quality in the league, they're starting. And as much as
that's the manager's decision.
And that's the manager's decision. You know,
let's get that clear. That's the manager's decision.
Amrabat, man.
When Grealish did that to him, I just started laughing. I was honestly just.
I thought Grealish twisted up Dalot. I think he twisted up Dalot many times. Like Dalot will have a bit of a nightmare about trying to mark Grealish in some of those half spaces, man. Like Grealish's first touch a lot of the times, just completely. Every time I feel like I took Dalot completely out of the game. It's like Dalot wasn't ready for that first touch.
But like. I think that is one of the easiest games Man City will play all season.
100%. United,
exactly. Man United are one of the easiest teams that you could play against. I think that's one of the easiest games Man City will play all season, and I can't get past this, man. Like, I predicted when we did our preview that City can win this game, and they can win it in a way where they will just like embarrass Man United, like. I said like a couple of seasons ago they won 2-0 at Old Trafford, but it wasn't a 2-0 when Oli was there. They just took the piss, man. Kept possession, and City fans were calling it a training game. They were saying thanks for the training match, because Man United, and in a derby as well. I get you go 2-0 down.
Leave a tackle on someone.
Go and press them. Go and take a risk. Go and try and win the ball. Go and do something. And even when Arsenal were at their worst. And I get that Man City are a much better team than Tottenham were, right? But let's not forget, Tottenham were making Champions League finals, beating Pep's Man City in these competitions. And they would come to the Emirates and they never won.
Feisty.
They never won, right? Pochettino never won there. Because even Mustafi, Socrates, Koscielny, these guys would step up.
They would be a hero.
For Iwobi, Mkhitaryan.
But the fans...
They'd step up for the game.
Yeah, but I think a big difference is like us as fans could never accept, no matter how good Tottenham were, losing to Tottenham or coming in and feeling like second best or an underdog to Tottenham. I feel like United fans walking into that stadium before kickoff goes fully expect to get the breaks being off them in this game. And I feel like
no, but they and again it comes back to you can lose a game.
Yeah, but there's a way to lose a game.
The Man United fans are not accepting
that performance.
They're not accepting to lose the Manchester derby like that. Any Manchester United fan I've seen, reasonable Manchester United fan, has said, when we saw the lineup, we kind of knew what was going to happen. But it doesn't happen that way. Not in a derby.
What do you think about, we spoke about Chelsea, but some of the United stats, like some of the stats of
their forwards.
-5 goal difference. Scored only 11.
-5 goal is brazen. -5. Well, they played 10 Premier League
That's
games.
what I'm saying. They've lost 5. How honestly?
Culture Cam said if they keep pace, they'll lose 19 Premier League games.
But how can things honestly be this bad? How can Rashford only have 1 goal and 1 assist and that be your whole front line?
And Rashford, let's not talk about Rashford's performance yesterday because we spoke earlier about the Hale End guys.
Yeah.
This guy's come through the academy at Man United.
Star boy.
Right? He knows what it means. He was not putting any effort in, man. Not closing people down. And we told you lot a couple when you got beat by Brighton, don't let it be that big contract hoodoo. And I'm at a point now, where I'm 90% convinced Rashford's done out.
No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Unless he gets a manager that finds a way to motivate.
That's what
him.
It is.
Yeah. That contract thing, Rashford's chilling.
The problem is
we saw it with Aubameyang.
But this is so funny.
It's so obvious to tell.
This is so funny because Rashford is your guy, and you've
my guy.
Yeah, you've had it.
Rashford is my guy.
Yeah, he's been a guy that you've been backing for a while now, and I've been so on him. I agree that he's a good player. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. What I will say though is, as much as he has signed a big contract, I personally think that he's not done with Ten Hag, but he's done with Ten Hag.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And if a new manager came in, Rashford would score on the new manager's debut, and he would get an assist, and he would rip up the next winger, and he would put it top bins. And I feel like everything that's going on, Sancho's his boy. Sancho's now in the cold. He's in Siberia. There's the fans are on his back. Ten Hag is, as much as he's trying to change things, nothing's really changing.
Yeah.
Bruno on the right. I've never seen Bruno on the right.
Before we get on to Bruno, because Bruno's got his whole own section in this,
But
the Rashford thing, the reason
I think
Rashford's my guy, and I like Rashford is and I've said this before, is because I can see the qualities that he has, and I'm looking at him now, and he's 25, 26 maybe, and I'm still looking at Rashford and saying he's got raw qualities. He's a raw player. What people are saying about Nicholas Jackson, who's 20, 21, first season in the league, right? And I don't think that's entirely on Rashford. Yeah, you should develop your game, become more refined. But if Rashford was in this Arsenal team, bro, and Mikel Arteta, look at what Mikel Arteta did. Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka were not the guys they are.
Yeah, no, I
before
agree.
Mikel came in. Yeah, if Mikel gets his hands on a guy like Rashford, I think Rashford's numbers would be.
But okay, so this is what I say. One, I agree to your point. Fundamentally, I agree to your point. Arteta just makes players better players.
Yeah.
Ten Hag is not really,
and that's the other thing on Ten Hag.
But I don't know, because how much of Rashford last year was Ten Hag?
I agree. But I think there was also a level of it was just rash sanity.
It was
it was just Rashford just found this groove, and he was playing as a striker.
I think Rashford plays well when the conditions are perfect. There's fertile land. Midfielders are doing their jobs. Defenders are doing their jobs.
Yeah.
He has a couple friends in the squad who he likes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You put Rashford in a well-oiled system, in a well-drilled team.
Goals.
Yeah.
Goals and assists. But in these tough games where Rashford has to have his back against the wall, versus the fans are on his back, as I say, the press is on his back.
Yeah.
His players are maybe demanding a little bit more from him. I feel like
he doesn't turn up.
Yeah. Or I think it's 50-50.
He didn't even work hard enough.
I think it's 50-50. I think one, he doesn't turn up, but I also do feel like he maybe is over blamed as a hype man, because some of the only moments of quality in the game came from Rashford. That ball he put forward to McTominay when Edison made that save. Yep. It's the first time ball on his left foot.
Yeah.
On the right, he's on the right hand side.
Yep.
And he plays it straight through 2 defenders to McTominay, who's in on goal, who has probably Man United's only shot on target.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Rashford is still capable of all of these things, and it's so weird that it takes a manager to sit down with him and get the best out of him. And for a second, we thought that was Ten Hag, but there's there's 4 managers now that we've said this.
Yeah.
So maybe but
Jose weren't going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Under Oli, Rashford did all right.
What would Ange do?
I think Ange would make him a good
you
player.
know, if Rashford is in that system
but the work rate stuff and that's not about who your manager is. That's got to come from Rashford.
True.
And that's where I will place blame on him because he's not working hard enough.
I agree. He's not working hard enough, and I think a lot of that is also now kind of like a fuck you to the fans in the sense of like there's no way Rashford isn't hearing what everybody's saying or like.
Well, he's seeing that 350 bags hit his account every week,
but I think,
he's like, yeah, you know what?
But that's what fuels my points about Rashford and the manager. I don't think they've fallen out because Ten Hag plays in every game, but I don't think that Rashford is 100% bought in to the point where he's willing to do that 5-yard sprint to press the ball.
Yeah,
and like I feel like
but he was doing that last year. And what's the thing that's changed?
Jadon Sancho,
the contract.
I'm telling you, I think there is a couple guys like Rashford. Probably,
I think the Jadon Sancho thing, and I want to talk about this as well. And let's get back to Erik Ten Hag because we're not letting him off. Yeah. Firstly, on Erik Ten Hag, the signings he's made, the players that he wanted to bring in, and Erik Ten Hag's at a point now where he's not doing himself any favors with the comments he's making in the interviews that he's having. Right,
Amrabat coming off and saying that's tactics. You might as well have just said he's injured.
Exactly, right. And then after the game, saying he made a mistake bringing Mount on. Right,
you know what he said in the post match? He was like, "From a guy like Mount, you can expect creativity." And obviously, no,
they just didn't get that.
Felt like it was a dig.
But they asked him, and it came out, I think, either today or late last night. When will we see this Man United team play like your Ajax team?
Yeah.
And Erik Ten Hag said never. Erik Ten Hag said never. Yeah. So any Man United fan who's waiting on that and thinking they got sold a dream, man. They got sold a dream. They thought that Erik Ten Hag was going to come and he was going to play possession football. He was going to play the way Ajax play. And Erik Ten Hag has literally just told you guys you will never see that.
Yeah, but so this is what I will say, because that's a crazy thing to say.
And if that is the case, why has he spent 100 million on Anthony? Why has he spent 65 on Lisandro? Why is he getting these guys from the Eredivisie come in? Amrabat, poor so far, right? Casemiro, you spent 70 million on. Got one very good season out of him. But what's the role for him now? Mason Mount's your guy. He's not starting the Manchester derby.
Yeah, no. Yesterday was crazy when there was McTominay and 3 10s in midfield in Eriksen, Bruno, and Mount, and for that to be a Premier League midfield against Man City, like Sheffield at home. That's what Arteta's trying. Yeah. He's putting Rice there, and it's Declan Rice.
He all comes in.
But at least it's Declan Rice in the 6. And he's putting
Saka and Martinelli
and Smith Rowe and Havertz, and we're playing with the front 5, it's experimental X, Y, and Z. But Sheffield at home, you can do that. Man City at home in a huge game when they have the intelligence and they've got Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and all these guys in midfield. And you yourself have put McTominay on the transfer list for playing as a 6, for playing as a box-to-box. And he was also one of your only most potent players going forward. He was like your biggest threat going forward. Like, these are the things that are unexplainable.
He's getting the nod ahead of Mason Mount.
Yeah, exactly.
Who you signed for 60 million.
You signed for 65 million.
You chased for however long.
I thought the Anthony sub was too late. Anthony was poor. Don't get me wrong. He was poor. But I do think that
things definitely should have changed earlier. Ten Hag waited way too long.
Get
Garnacho on the pitch, man. Gavardio is looking like Maldini with Bruno on that wing. Get Garnacho on the pitch. Try and change something. Didn't do that. His substitutions were wrong.
I agree with your point. I fundamentally agree with your point of like, Ten Hag can't come out and say, I'm not trying to play that football at Ajax, and then just spend all your transfer money on Ajax players. Yeah. And if that isn't your football, then you have to show patterns of what is your football.
Exactly. What is your identity? And not only that, okay, a lot of your signings have been poor. Yeah. But what about the players who were there when you took over? Last season, Rashford was balling. Fair play. You got a tune out of him. But you got to come in, and the players who are there, you got to make them better players. Right? Which he hasn't really done. Dallow's looked better than he was before. Right? But if all Ten Hag's players are fit, I think Wan-Bissaka is the starting right back. He hasn't shown that he's come in and he's made these guys better players, right? And I think that's a big problem when you're looking at it now. And the Jadon Sancho situation, I think, is all just like compounding onto everything because. And I wanted to reference, and I don't want to keep bringing it back to Arsenal and whatever, But when Mikel Arteta decided, Aubameyang needs to go. Let's get it right. That was a much bigger decision than Ten Hag with because Jadon Sancho has been shit. He's been poor, like offering nothing to the team. Like it's not a big like risk
He was
to
the
take
star
that
man
decision.
about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And even in the All or Nothing documentary, there's a clip with Edu, and Edu goes, "It's difficult to back Mikel on that because the fans love Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Like Aubameyang's
Yeah.
won trophies for the club, but obviously Edu makes the right decision. He backs Mikel, right? But when that happened, if shit went left there, Mikel's the one on the line. We had a conversation at the time, and we were like, if this doesn't work,
Yeah, he's done.
this is on Mikel.
But
Because but it worked, right?
yeah,
And
but
that's part of the reason.
But that's because the people that Mikel got in as well were playing. Like Eddie came in and scored in that Chelsea game when Aubameyang was on the bench. Like, who is that guy for United who the fans can like put all their love and praise on and be like, hey, look, the bottom line is you're Ten Hag's guy and you're playing for Ten Hag and you're putting in performances and we can build from here because I see the green shoots.
Yeah.
We knew Eddie was never gonna go on to be the main guy, whatever. But we saw Saka, we saw Smith Rowe, we saw Eddie, and we thought, okay, look, young Haaland, let's have this like carefree almost end to the season without the pressure of Aubameyang. Who is Ten Hag putting in there?
Yeah.
Because if Mount's not his guy who he's just signed, if Amrabat, who he's hooking off at halftime, isn't gonna be his guy, or Nana is a mixed bag. It's like who
Runs on the bench.
Like Garnacho. I don't know what Garnacho's feelings are towards him. Like, maybe every time we see Garnacho play, it feels like he has a decent cameo. Maybe he should get more minutes. He doesn't get more minutes. Pelestri doesn't get more minutes. Elanga's gone. So it's like
Elanga's balling.
Who's gonna be the hero? How
How
can every decision, at least with Arteta, he made that big decision and the decisions afterwards paid off for him?
Yeah.
When are the decisions gonna pay off?
Exactly. I think that's a big problem. He's made this Jadon Sancho decision and results haven't gone there. And it's not a case of, if Jadon Sancho's playing, United win these games or United play better or whatever. We don't know that, right? Based on Jadon Sancho's performances for Man United, we can't even say that, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because you've made this decision. Like you say, maybe Rashford's affected. Maybe these Wan-Bissaka or whoever it is. Maybe they're affected. Maybe the story's coming out about Jadon Sancho needing a lunchbox and carrying it across and needing to change outside because all of this stuff.
Fucking his car with the under 18 moms.
Right? It's not good. Yeah. And that's where, okay, cool. Who's the guy Erik Ten Hag's going to call upon? I got to blame Erik Ten Hag again there because he gave Bruno the captaincy, right?
Yeah.
He's come out and said Marcus Rashford's going to play every game and we're going to play him through the bad form. Erik Ten Hag has said that, right? Where we're looking on it and we're thinking, Rashford needs to be dropped because these performances are not acceptable. And he's just playing Garnacho. Erik Ten Hag has said, Bruno, you're my guy, you're my captain. Rashford, you're my guy. I'm going to play you through this form. So if those guys fail, Ten Hag's going to fall on his sword.
So now I do have some sympathy to maybe play devil's advocate. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, but surely Ten Hag is also thinking like Rashford, you've got to turn this around.
Yeah.
Like we've got Sheffield. It's like every game that
Ten Hag's not thinking, what the fuck happened to these guys? Like last year, they were banging in the goals. Bruno was balling. Everything looked good. Like now you're just throwing me on. And I said this after the Brighton game. Ten Hag's put his trust in the same players that threw Jose under the bus, that threw Oli under the bus, that threw Rangnick under the bus.
Yeah.
Like Ten Hag's put his trust in those guys, and they're doing the exact same thing now.
No, I 100% I agree on that. He's put his trust in the wrong guys, but he's also thinking like, United fans came into the season thinking we have foundations to build on. Third and a trophy, Rash sanity.
Yeah.
Bruno back to getting goals and assists. We just need we need a striker. We got a striker. We got Casemiro. We got Varane. We got the Butcher at the back. Yeah. We changed.
United fans were thinking title race. Sure.
Shaw's back to being a top defender, being a top bloke.
Lissandro.
And so I think a bit of Ten Hag is like, guys, we
please.
Calm. Poor start, calm. First couple of games, poor start, yeah. Then you started to have the Burnleys and the Shef U's, and he's like, where the hell are the goals? Like, and as you say, it's not just that Rashford isn't scoring goals. It's that he doesn't really look like he can try for 90 minutes.
Exactly.
He doesn't look like he can try for 90 minutes. But that's why I think, and obviously we're just being fans here, but that's why I think the Sancho stuff, and I like Rashford might be able to admit that to Ten Hag, hey, look, man, Sancho's been turning up late. He's been putting in shit performances. But he's my guy, and if you could show him, not more respect than anybody else, but give him a chance or whoever it is. And Ten Hag's come out and bashed him and banished him. Sancho's also taking it the wrong way. Like Rashford must be just sitting there in a toxic dressing room, not a toxic dressing room, but he's sitting there in a dressing room.
But I think rather than going to Ten Hag, I think Rashford and whoever else in there or Jadon Sancho's boy, go to Jadon Sancho and be like, look, bro, it's been like the Arsenal game was what, the 4th game of the season?
It's crazy.
It's been like 8 weeks with the international breaks, whatever, maybe 10 weeks, yeah? Even if you don't mean it, yeah? Even if you're not sorry, just go in there and say it.
Yeah.
Just go,
for us, I need you. I need you, bro.
Go back and train.
I need you out there.
Exactly.
But Jadon's going to him, bro. He's going to be gone by Jan. And Rashford's going back to training thinking,
Jadon Sancho is thinking now, this guy's going to go soon.
Yeah, and Rashford's probably thinking, man, maybe Jadon's onto something.
But I was going to ask you, is the writing on the wall for Erik Ten Hag? We've seen...
No.
We've seen the process. We know what happens when it gets to this stage at Man United.
I think
Man City fans, when Liverpool fans were singing Ollie's at the wheel at Old Trafford for half an hour, it was a turning point. They were waving white flags as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was. Is the writing on the wall for Erik Ten Hag?
He's got, I would say, another 2 damning defeats.
If they lose, they got Fulham in the lunchtime kickoff next week. Yeah, never back the early.
Yeah, never back the early
at
kick.
Fulham.
Iwobi.
Yeah, Paulinho, Willian. Yeah, if they lose that game, a lot of Man United fans are going to be like, I don't know.
So that's why I say he's got 2 more damning defeats. I think Ten Hag has made a lot of poor decisions, man. And I agree, and I can hear the murmurs and the rumors, but honestly, it just sinks United even further into the hole because the new manager's not going to want Anthony. The new manager's not going to want Amrabat. The new manager might not like Onana.
Yeah.
And that is another 3-year process to get rid of those guys. That's going to take 3. You couldn't get rid of Maguire and McTominay this summer. It's going to take at least...
But then can you just keep Ten Hag in the job if he's just going to keep losing, keep making poor decisions?
Yeah, it's tough to double down on him. Huh?
Okay, Man City are a very good team, yeah, best team in the world probably, and we won't even talk about the fact that we beat them because we are levels above Man United. But Wolves beat them,
yeah,
right? It's not like. And again, we keep coming back to it, man. There's a way to lose the derby.
There is a way to lose the derby. And that's the biggest takeaway from the game.
Yeah, but this guy's going to get his time now, yeah? Because you, man, wanted to chat about our captain, yeah? Look in your own house, yeah? Look in your own stadium and look at what your man's doing in a derby game at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes, yeah, is... Roy Keane said he should be stripped of the captaincy.
Poor.
He said that's one of the first things he would do. And...
he's poor. His
attitude, man. Like we always know, he's petulant. He's a moaner. Yeah. Like he does all of this stuff. But you're 3-0 down. Like what are you doing? And I actually wanted to show you this clip, yeah, of 2 Man United fans after the game doing a player ratings, yeah, and what they say about Bruno Fernandes.
So Bruno Fernandes,
KG and
-2. -2, -3. I can go to -4. Let's go -5. Let's round it up. Yeah. -5 for Bruno Fernandes.
What Bruno's doing right now is actually
fake running. It's pathetic.
And you know what's pissing me
fake
as well?
It's all
Yeah?
fake.
I'll be honest. It's like he's just. You know what? The biggest thing that Bruno done that pissed me off today.
Yeah.
They had a free kick. They just wouldn't move back.
Yeah.
Fucking get out of the way.
No, let the time run.
No, bro, no. Like,
do you want to lose 6-0?
Bro, like, this is what I'm saying. You spend more effort and, like, quality moaning at the ref and, like, not moving back than just doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's shit.
But it's
Stinking out the joint.
Stinking out the joint. Yeah, -5 for me.
So
and yeah, well, shout out United View. If you want to go watch the full video, that'll be on their channel. Yeah, but those are 2 Man United fans talking about their captain and the way he was kicking people. That's what I would do if I was on the pitch at Old Trafford. That's what you would do.
Yeah.
Like, what, bro? You're meant to be the captain, the creator. Go and get on the ball and go and make something happen. What are you doing? Just kicking people.
Sticking shot, hit a shot that hits the keeper's arms.
Yeah.
Goes out for a corner. Fans go, come on, let's get up the pitch. I completely like Bruno. He's been like he's had questions over him for a while now, yeah, and he's always managed to escape, kind of because of the GAs, the goals and assists. They've been happening, But this season, Bruno, it's the fact that they've given him the captain's armband.
Yeah.
He could stink this much and not be the captain, and he would just be in the same bracket as Rashford, as like a guy that United need to get firing. A couple of question marks about like where his head is at, but whatever, he's still a good player in there.
Yeah.
Still somebody you should probably put as like a cornerstone of this team. But the fact that they've given him the captain's armband, which obviously for a club like United comes with a different level of like responsibility and all of that comes with it. It feels like he's not shrinking under the pressure, but like his football at least, it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Like for each game, his football, like what he actually does with the ball at his feet, what he does with when the ball's not at his feet in the game, he's so poor. The manager hasn't helped him playing him on the right wing, but he's so poor. And that whole, I'm just gonna shout the ref, free kick, go down, free kick thing. It kind of sums up everything about United.
To have Man United's greatest ever captain
say that,
come out and say you should be stripped, and Bruno Fernandes is going to.
Who do they put as captain?
We know players see that stuff.
Who are they going to put as captain?
This is the one thing where I kind of see the point, because you can't give it to Rashford.
You can't give it to Maguire.
You can't give it back to Maguire. Eriksen's in and out of the team. You can't give it to McTominay. They tried to sell him. Can't give it to Højlund. He just joined the team. Can't give it to Anthony. Can't give it to Wan-Bissaka. Can't give it to Luke. Maybe give it to Luke Shaw, but he's injury prone. Can't give it to Varane or Alessandro. They come out the team. Onana's got enough pressure on him as it is. Yeah. Who Amrabat's just come in, right? Might not be in the team week in, week out. So who does Ten Hag give it to? And again, that is also partly on Ten Hag for not recruiting those players.
Yeah.
That he thinks he can give it the armband to.
What do you think the biggest two things are that have let Ten Hag down, in the past, I guess, year or so? Because I sometimes it's tough to choose between some of his tactical decisions. His recruitment has to be in the signings that he's made, but like
I think simply put, and I can't remember who said this, but someone said this before. I mean, it might have even been Graham Souness, yeah. But simply put, if you get your football recruitment right, you'll be in a very good position. Look at Brighton, right? You'll be in a very good position to take your club to where they need to be, right? The first thing that Mikel Arteta, in his first full transfer window after COVID, he signed Martin Odegaard, Ben White, Aaron Ramsdale, Takehiro Tomiyasu, and Sambi Lokonga, Nuno Tavares. Yeah. 4 of those guys, obviously say what you want about Ramsdale, but 4 of those guys are still key parts of the team, right? Martin Odegaard's become the captain. Ben White plays every week. We've spoken about how crucial Tomiyasu is, right? After that, he then went and added Zinchenko, Jesus, Fabio Vieira. 3 integral parts. He then added Leandro Trossard, Kiwior. He then added Declan Rice, Yuri Timber, Kai Havertz. The recruitment is massive. So I think that's probably number one.
I agree.
But the second part, for me, has to be not only stripping Maguire of the captaincy, but you've given it to Bruno.
So you think
Man United fans look at it and they're like, this guy is not a captain of Man. He doesn't behave the way a Man United captain should. So behave.
What you would say, recruitment 1 and then player like management, that would include the Sancho thing. That would include the Maguire Bruno thing. That would include listing McTominay. Now McTominay's a hero.
Yeah.
David De Gea, we're going to resign you. We're going to resign you. We're going to resign you. Nope. Here's Andre Onana.
Obviously, the lack of identity.
I was going to say those would be mad too,
but I feel like that comes under recruitment. Like you get the recruitment right, and
you have a good identity,
and your identity then comes right.
I think
the way Arteta wanted to play, signs Ramsdale.
Exactly.
Big, huge difference now. Ben White carrying the ball out.
Yeah. No, I would say recruitment, but I would put identity as something separate because, Arteta was playing this stuff with Socrates and Mustafi, and he didn't have the players.
He had to play 5 at the back, but he was still showing.
You could see at the fundamentals of what it was going to be like with a keeper who couldn't do it and a central defender who couldn't really do it. But it was like, hey, look, this is how it's going to be from the future. I want my academy players doing all this kind of stuff. So I think identity makes recruitment easier. Like Ten Hag saying that he needs a couple of these guys to go. Bringing in already signing 8 players, like some of the loans as well. So Bits on loan, Vegas on loan. Like all of this stuff. You thought still we're asking what is going on, and I don't think he can sign players without knowing what is going on. Mason Mount yesterday, we can't get onto him because he only did 45 minutes, but I agree with Cams. I agree with a lot of guys who say like, what is the plan for Mount? I thought Mount was going to play in the wing. Seems like he's going to play in the center with Bruno on the wing, which can't be the solution.
Yeah.
But
for me, that's recruitment again. Like Ten Hag's decided Mason Mount's my guy, right? And he's gone all out and he signed him. And now he can't find a place for him in the team. He chased Amrabat all summer.
One of my favorite narratives about United is how this Kobe Mainoo guy's meant to be a baller. And
get Mainoo in next to Casemiro. Yeah. But I genuinely feel, and I can't get past it, man. Obviously, the whole team were poor. But
as a captain.
Yeah, it's just when you're doing the stuff that Bruno's doing and you're being petulant.
It looks worse for a Man United captain than any other captain.
And you look at what Man City are doing. And it's just... You want to talk about big games, man. Man United fans want to talk about big games. Certain captains turning up. What's going on, man?
Yeah, where is he? And there's ways to turn up in big games even without goals and assists.
Yeah,
sure. Add something. Add a little bit of quality on the ball. Make that challenge, make that tackle, play that pass.
The very least, and Odegaard's had a couple poor games, but the very least you can say about Odegaard every week is he works his socks off.
Yeah.
He stepped out onto that pitch.
It sets the press.
He wasn't great in the North London derby. He wasn't great against Chelsea, but he worked hard as anyone on that pitch. He set the tone for the press.
This might be a crazy statement, but I would rather my player hide than just give away fouls and shout at the... I remember when Lacazette used to do that, and that was my biggest pet peeve with Lacazette at the time, where it was like, just when you think you're about to do something or get somewhere, no, Lacazette's fouled the defender. And the ref has to blow the whistle. Plays broken up. He's complaining at the ref.
Yeah,
and obviously,
I don't think it's one or the other though.
It's not. No.
When you see a player hide, it aggravates me.
Hiding is terrible, but hiding is like, I don't know. Yeah, my confidence is gone. Bruno, I don't know. What is the justification for that? Like, you're just gonna break up the game for what? You need some momentum. You need a goal. At least, United can lose the game 3-1. You have a goal to celebrate. That's a narrative in your own. Hey, good goal for Højlund.
Yeah.
You can maybe build from this.
Yeah.
Like, there is zero positive takeaways from the United game for United, and there was barely any to go into the game with, in the sense that like no one came into the game thinking United need to win this. It's a must win. Yeah, and United could have easily have lost this game 2-1. Everybody would have just been like, yeah, you know what, that happens. But to come out and like, it feels like it's a reckoning. It's a reckoning. Yeah. Everybody's questioning like, how good's the manager? How good's these players?
Do you see the chant going around on Twitter that the Man City fans are singing?
Yeah.
Old Trafford's falling down. Ten Hag's a clown. and Man United fans are silent in that stadium. Everyone can hear it. Everyone knows what's going on. But
where do you think? Do you think they challenged? Do you think they can't? Obviously, they started this badly last year and then found some form and got back up there.
I personally think the writing's on the wall for Erik Ten Hag.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that as like his capacity as a manager or what he's capable
just
as a manager.
Situation.
I know these players, bro.
Yeah.
Like when I say the writing's on the wall,
had to come on.
Yeah. And Martial, I didn't see Martial burst into a sprint once, right? And he came on as a sub with like 15 minutes to go. I didn't see him sprint once, but I know these players, man, and I know that no matter Jose couldn't get a tune out of them, right? Louis van Gaal, Oli, whoever it is, I feel like Man United are going to go to Fulham next week and
just bottle it.
Fulham are going to outfight them. They're going to outwork them.
Calvin Bassey.
And yeah, unless there's moments of quality from Man United, Fulham are going to win that game, and then the pressure's really going to start to mount. These guys,
I think Fulham winning that game is unthinkable.
Whether Erik Ten Hag's good enough or not, really doesn't matter. Yeah, unfortunately, he's suffering from the fact that he's just trusted the wrong guys, and those guys are not. Bruno and Rashford have proven that they are not going to pull you out the mud. Yeah. They are not going to be those guys. So I think the writing's on the wall, and I sympathize with Erik Ten Hag in some ways. Obviously, he's trusted these guys, but they're not going to bail him out.
Do you know what's funny? The last thing I'll say on United is I really think that Ten Hag and Ralf Rangnick could have been a good sporting director, manager.
Yeah, it could have worked.
I think that whole Rangnick situation, the irony of the way it looks now, is
Rangnick wanted to sign Alvarez. Rangnick wanted to sign all these guys.
I think Rangnick should have moved upstairs. When Man United are screaming for a sporting director, they should have never have pushed him into the management role. Obviously, hindsight's 2020 or whatever, but They should have never pushed him into the management role, and they should have never given him as tough a time because he should have still moved upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, because obviously that was initially what he came in to do.
But you know what? At the time, Rangnick came out and said this team needs open heart surgery.
Yeah, all of that stuff. It looks like
United fans hated him for that. I was talking to United fans. They cussed him out for that.
Yeah,
they were like, "No, right, Rangnick's toxic. Get him out. Rangnick's toxic." Because they always thought they were maybe 2-3 players, one top manager,
but they
away
always
from competing.
think that they
exactly. And now, like I said, Man United fans thought they'd be in a title race this season. Now they're gonna have to just kind of accept, like, well, I'm seeing United stand, like big United fan channels coming out with interviews this morning and content this morning saying, look at what Arteta did.
Yeah.
Arteta finished 8th and then was backed, and look where they are now. Like, but I thought you were big Man United and you didn't need to go through that.
I mean, giving Ten Hag more money is surely a scary thought. Surely is a scary thought.
But look, that's enough on Man United.
Yeah.
We do need to talk about Man City.
Man City's perspective, it's like as good an away day as you can have.
Exactly. In a so-called derby, dominated the game like that.
Gvardiol was good.
Gvardiol was good. It was good. I said last week that I thought it'd be Ake.
Yeah, you did. I was going to mention.
But Gvardiol came in, was solid. Not that Bruno really caused him any problems.
That's not his matchup.
But yeah, man, I think Rodri's back.
You
can just see, like,
Stones in midfield.
Yep.
It's a long day for a lot of teams.
And I think this guy was getting a bit overgassed by Sky and everything, but he does deserve his praise because he did play very well. Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, 100%. I think I think the media need that City guy to be like, is he the best thing we've seen since?
Yeah.
You
like
know?
Gary Neville calling him the purest footballer. And we spoke about Bernardo when they came to the Emirates.
Yeah.
And Pep played him
He's
as a
top,
lone
man.
six.
He is top.
There was definitely, because in the first 10 minutes, United had a couple counter-attacks, but the thing that Bernardo does, which I can see it must just like aggravate players so much, is he'll get the ball and there'll be an easy pass, but he'll dribble it into a cul-de-sac, into like a place where there's nowhere to go.
There's 3 players on him.
Yeah. And then, but all he's doing is making 2 players run from their man to press him. He just doesn't lose the ball.
Yeah.
And then he just
pass out.
plays another pass. Those players then have to go back. Every time it goes to Bernardo, he's just making them do these shuttle runs and just stressing them out.
No, his IQ is top and he just does not lose it, man.
Exactly.
I think that's his big, like, he just does not lose it under any pressure, under any circumstance. There's always somehow a free man, even when there shouldn't be a free man. Haaland, man, again, he's here.
Yep.
A lot of question marks over him. Look, guys, removed him from FPL.
Yeah, I saw that.
Foolish.
It is foolish. That's the only way to describe it.
I thought Doku had a good cameo when Doku came on. I thought
although I say that, I do apologize because my dad transferred him out. I don't want to call you foolish, but I think that's definitely out of hope. More than anything else. Yeah.
No, I thought Doku had a good cameo. I thought Grealish had a good game. Foden, I knew was going to score. Foden's actually, to be fair, when it comes to these big games, you can bank on it.
Alvarez kept it tidy. Walker.
Yeah, Pep obviously got it right. Yeah. Like, obviously got it right. But at the same time, with the team that Man United put out, it was
easy.
He couldn't get it wrong.
But what I admire about someone like Bernardo is that not only, like, you can do it in games at home against small teams and whatever, but in big games, big
he stands up to be counted for.
Like, away from home, not only that, but the game is played at the pace Bernardo wants to play it at.
Yeah.
Like, he'll get on the ball, and if he gets on the ball, he might decide, I'm going to take 7 or 8 touches here and just slow things down, right? And then everyone else on the pitch just reacts because you can't take the ball off him. They're all just reacting to what Bernardo does. Or he might get it and he might be like, yeah, cool, 1-2 with Grealish, underlapping run, cross to the back stick, Haaland 2-0 done, game over. Like, he's for him to have that much quality and the stature that he is, do it in the Premier League, like, he is a top player.
He's a top player. He started even last season in the Champions League when he still had to be counted for. Even the season before that, when Madrid knocked him out, he still had to be counted for. I think the superlatives for these kind of guys, man, Pep knows how to take that kind of guy to the next level. I remember watching. I was watching all of, it could be Mbappe's or somebody's Champions League goals, and I was seeing Bernardo Silva from Monaco, and I was like, man, there was a tricky winger, but you still never would have expected him to go on to be who he is.
Yeah, I never thought that could compute to
Exactly.
a Premier League.
Exactly. 6, low 6.
Deep line midfielder.
Yeah. And that's the level that Pep
Yeah.
can get you to if you want to play. But it shows the stark. Obviously, Man City are better run, better whatever. But like, it shows the stark difference of when you have an identity, what you can do with players. And we spoke about systems versus
individuals
last week. And United, it feels like are banking on individual brilliance and individual quality, which I think Premier League managers now have shown systems cannot beat that.
Yeah.
And
when Man United were relying on individual quality, that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So what's really changed?
I
think last season they relied a lot on rash sanity
and Bruno
and that individual quality. And I think, it's obviously just not coming.
No, Fulham, if they lose to Fulham, it's unimaginable what a loss to Fulham would do. Unimaginable. Or like 2 losses going into another international break and just like another 2 weeks of negativity. But I really I'll say it again. If you get rid of Ten Hag, who and what are they going to do with Anthony? Who and what are they going to do with, Amrabat and Casemiro?
Yeah.
All of these, like Casemiro has 4 years left on his deal for 300K. The new guy might come in and be like, I need a mobile 6.
I saw on Filthy, Tigo was saying, he was like, Real Madrid saw what was happening with Casemiro and Varane, and they thought, which sucker's going to take these two? Which sucker can we just milk?
100 mil.
And they saw Man United come along and they thought, you lot.
100 mil.
We'll take 70 for Casemiro, who's on his last legs. We've already got Tchouameni through the door. We'll take 30 for Varane. We've got Militao, Alaba, all these guys coming through. And Man United just got suckered. And like I said, Casemiro gave you a great season, scored in the final, won your trophy. But I'm telling you, man, Casemiro is looking at it now and he's like, I got 3 years, 300 bags a week. Football secondary.
But maybe we're judging Amrabat too harshly, but Amrabat surely isn't the I agree so much with I don't know who said it on, I think it was on Sky, about like you signing Casemiro and signing these guys and then 12 months later making replacement signings. I think it was Jamie Carragher making replacement signings. Amrabat can't be the replacement for Casemiro, surely. Because even then, that's another poor business decision. Not only trying to get a replacement for him, but he just doesn't seem to be as good.
Yeah. Or in Mount's not even playing.
I mean, the fact that Mount didn't start this game, or hasn't started the last 3 games, so damning.
Yeah.
So damning.
But that was all the games from this weekend. And God, if Man United lose next weekend, make sure you tune in for that episode.
Here, 100%. I'll be right here. I'll be right there with you. He's done.
Yeah, and obviously we go to St James's Park, so massive game. Tottenham play Chelsea on the Monday night, so a lot of big fixtures this weekend. But thank you guys for listening, and for everyone who's been supporting. 10 episodes in, massive shout out to you guys. We appreciate it a lot. For supporting on the socials, watching the videos. Thank you lot for all of that. And 10 episodes in, hopefully we keep it going.
For sure, we'll see you next week.
But thank you for watching and peace.